A young mother, a child lost, and a chilling confession. In this video, we unravel the full interrogation of Cheyenne Henches, from hesitant answers to the moment the truth surfaces. What really happened behind that bathroom door on that tragic night? Was it truly an accident or a string of fatal choices? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated and unlock exclusive perks for our loyal viewers. On a freezing April night in Minnesota, Cheyenne Henches faced a moment of no return, where the instinct of a mother collided with a harsh and irreversible reality.
What's going on? And we have to, like I said before, we advocate for people. I can't advocate for somebody who doesn't want to tell me what happened or tell me.
I told you everything though.
I don't.
You don't believe me. I know, I told you, that's what I'm saying. Put me on the lie detector test.
What does that prove?
Well, it's gonna see if I'm lying or not, whatever question, which I'm not.
So hypothetically, if it does say you're lying to us, where do we go from there?
Which it won't. I'm telling you guys everything you need to know. Everything that you need.
For what?
To bring up to your thing. To figure out what happened. The only issue we ever had, was him falling off the chair. That's the only incident we've had with my son.
And Shy?
The next morning, baby Eli was found lifeless. A 911 call was made, but details at the scene didn't align with the story Cheyenne had given authorities.
7 times I asked you about that. 3 times.
To tell everything. I don't know. And then they're just going to say...
Hearing Cheyenne's voice tremble as she faces those questions is heartbreaking. As a parent, I can't imagine the weight of that moment, knowing something went horribly wrong but clinging to denial. Her hesitation screams guilt, but also fear. Was it shame holding her back, or something darker? The investigator's push for truth sets a chilling tone, making us wonder how far her story will bend before it breaks.
Inside the interrogation room, Cheyenne shifted her version. She claimed Eli's head had accidentally hit the bathroom door frame while she was rushing to get back to bed.
Okay, a couple of things, Shy. First off, thanks for coming in today. I know, again, what we're here to talk about is never easy, but from what I understand, I got a voicemail from Pam today, and she made reference that it was possible that you wanted to come in today, so am I accurate in saying that this was your choice to come in today? Is that accurate? So you're shaking your head yes?
Yeah.
Okay, and like I said, this is voluntarily for you to be here. The door is still unlocked. It is closed for privacy reasons only, and you can get up and leave at any time. Okay, do you understand that? And you're not in any custody. You're free to leave as soon as we're done talking today. Do you understand that, Sean? Okay. And from what I gather, speaking with Pam briefly, that you may have more information that would be helpful for us to aid in determining exactly what happened here. Okay, is that accurate? Okay. Anything to add to that, Brent? Okay. Again, Shy, I appreciate you coming in today. What is it that you remembered or that you wanted to talk about?
I was really scared and embarrassed. But at the 2 o'clock feeding, after I fed him, burped him, and changed his diaper, I picked him up and brought him in the bath with me to get a Band-Aid because I cut my finger Sunday night. And that's when I cut my finger on that we brought.
Okay.
And then
what happened next?
he was in this head, and when I was walking out the door, he hit his head. And I believe I was in a rush because I just wanted to go back to bed.
What did he hit his head on?
The door frame.
Door frame of what?
My bathroom door.
His bathroom door, okay. Were you walking, were you running, or something different?
I was walking, but I believe I was walking a little, faster.
Okay.
At a fast pace.
Okay, so what time was this all at?
This is right before I laid him down.
Okay. Did he have any reaction when he hit his
He
head?
cried, but it wasn't like a screaming cry. and it wasn't like a fussing cry.
Okay.
So I rocked him in the rocker for a little bit, and he calmed down, and I laid him back down, not thinking anything of it.
Okay. First off, I'm going to remind you again, Shy. Number one, we told you from the very beginning we're not here to judge you, okay? We're not here to say that you're a bad mother. That's not what we're here for, okay? Is there something more that happened? What side of Eli's head?
It was this side.
The left side? Okay. I'm trying to picture what your bathroom looks like, or where your apartment, where that is in your apartment. Do you remember
to draw like a little layout of your apartment? Do you think?
That'll give us a better understanding.
His head had accidentally hit the bathroom door frame while she was rushing to get back to bed.
As far as what it looks like, I've been at the doorway, but I have not been walking around your apartment, so I don't know what it looks like. I'll give you a better understanding where your bedroom is, where Eli's bedroom is, where your bathroom is, living room, kitchen, so on and so forth. Yeah, we can do that, or I can hold on to it for you. Let's see here. Actually, we can go like this. And if this pen doesn't work, we've got several. What is this in the bag?
That's what I put my finger on.
What is it?
It's a toothbrush holder.
Oh, okay. So it's got sharp something on it.
Yes, glass.
Okay. And where did you bring it? This was still at your apartment somewhere, or did you get it from a garbage or something different?
No, this was actually given to me, like before we moved in.
So where did you bring this from?
Oh, my apartment.
Okay, and you held on to it from the day that this was broken?
Mm-hmm. It was Sunday night.
On Sunday night?
In the
Okay.
evening.
Okay. So give us as best as you can. We don't expect a scale diagram, but help us understand the layout. Like if you're looking down, you know, the main square is your apartment, and then kind of where the rooms are.
So just draw a square?
Yep. If that's the shape of your apartment, as best as you can. And your door, let's say that this is your doorway, okay, or whatever. This is your door. Is this the one towards the hallway?
The main door.
The main door. Okay. This is all one level, there's no upstairs, it's all, is there any stairs coming into the apartment?
There's 3 stairs right here.
Okay. So, was this before the bottle or after the bottle? After the bottle.
Changed his diaper and everything.
Okay. And what time was it that you remember laying Eli down at?
It was shortly after 11:30, like not even before 2:40.
But investigators weren't convinced. A simple bump against a doorframe didn't explain the severe injuries detailed in the medical examiner's report.
Because I calmed him down
Okay.
after the incident.
So, 11:40 you said first, and then you said 2. I just want to make sure I
Or I mean,
understand.
2:30.
Okay, so you laid him down about
A
2:30.
little after 2:30, but it was before 2:40.
Okay. And when you laid him down, did you put him in his playpen or crib or something different?
Pack and play.
Pack and play. And when you laid him down, was he on his stomach, on his side, on his back, or something different?
He was on his stomach. He always sleeps on his stomach.
Okay. All right. Was he awake at that time? Was he crying? Or?
He was like fussing. And I went in my room, and shortly after he stopped crying.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, Shy, is that's a very plausible explanation for what you provided. That means it's very possible. Okay? I think there's more in the evidence, like we've said in the medical, and we need to know exactly what happened. I'm not convinced that it was just walking into a door frame such as this, because kids are very flexible, they're very resilient, they're tough at that age too. I'm not convinced it was from walking into a door frame. And here's the thing, is that we've offered you the chance to do the polygraph, which is
We're going to cancel that.
We're good.
We're doing it. We're canceling that because I'm coming in and telling you guys this.
Okay.
So, Shy, if I can, just so I understand, after was Eli changed in the bathroom or in the
Living room.
And so you went into the bathroom to get a bandage for your...
Because it was wet after I washed his bottle out.
Okay, so which finger?
This one.
Okay, your left middle. So you went in and you were holding Eli how?
In this hand.
So
He's facing out.
I got something that will help us, okay? When I talk with kids in this room, I use, which you're not, but I use dolls to help me work with kids, okay? This helps us just kind of visualize what you're saying. So as you can see, this child has clothes that you can remove or keep on, however you remember. Granted, we don't have one with pajamas on, but this will give me a better understanding as far as how you were holding on to him, okay? So what I want you to show us is that how were you holding on to Eli, thank you. How were you holding on to Eli when you were walking around your apartment? Go ahead.
I was holding him like this.
So he's facing outward like that? Okay. And as you go into the bathroom, you were, like, demonstrate how you're working the bandage.
I didn't put the bandage on. I just grabbed it from the top, whatever you want to call it, above the sink.
Okay. The medicine cabinet?
Yep.
Okay.
And then I grabbed it and took it out and put it on the kitchen table counter, and then I put Eli to bed.
Okay, so slow down a second. So you get the bandage, and then you walk out of the bedroom, or out of the bathroom? Okay, and is Eli still
in my arms?
Okay.
Watching Cheyenne sketch her apartment and fumble with that doll is gut-wrenching. You can feel her panic as she tries to piece together a story that doesn't add up. It's not just the inconsistencies, it's the exhaustion in her eyes. Being a new mom is overwhelming, but this is a tragedy unfolding in slow motion. How could a simple accident cause such devastating harm? The truth feels so close, yet so buried under her fear.
Explained, the more her story became inconsistent and deeply unsettling.
And so, can you hold that doll one more time? When you walk out, which part of his head hits?
Like right here.
Okay.
And like I said, I believe I was in a rush. So I was going to go back and lay down.
So does the door to the bathroom, does it open inwards or outwards? Like inwards into the bathroom or outwards into the living room?
Out in the living room.
And the door was open?
Mm-hmm.
And so his head hit on the side where the door is on its hinges or the other side of the door frame?
What do you mean?
So like, look at this door, right? Here's the hinges, this door opens, going out here.
It opens on the other way.
This is your living room, let's say. So it opens the other way?
It's on the hinges right here.
Okay, so can you grab that doll and just show me how, as you're walking out, exactly how he did his head?
So this is the living room, right? So you're
Or whichever way the door makes the most sense to you.
bathroom. So like this would be my bathroom because it comes out
Okay. Does
that
the
way.
door open towards inside the bathroom?
No, it
Okay.
opens out.
Okay.
So like it looks like this, but the door would open that way.
Gotcha.
Instead of inward.
Okay, but you had him still in your left?
Yep.
So as you're walking out, he hits his head where?
Like right here.
Okay.
And then I like turned and he started crying, so I turned him around.
Okay. So he would have hit his head on the left side of his head, on the left part of the door, left side of the door frame. Is that right? So describe how hard he hit his head as best you can.
I don't know, you could hear it.
Tell me what you could hear.
Like you could hear like someone was like hitting a wall or something. You know, like louder than that though.
Like how loud hit it as loud as you think it was.
There's nobody on the other side, so you won't hear.
Don't hurt your head, obviously, but.
Or if the table works.
I was just trying to think how loud it was. Because everything just wasn't.
Was it louder? It was louder than what you just demonstrated, though, right?
Yeah.
So, do you mind if I do it?
Yeah.
Was it like this?
No, not that loud.
Not that loud?
No.
It's about the same.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, keep in mind that. And was it on the edge of the frame or the flat side of the frame, or do you
I
not know?
believe it was the edge.
Edge.
I wasn't paying attention really
Sure.
much, so.
So were you you said earlier that you were kind of in a hurry.
I believe so.
Were you tired?
Yeah.
Sure.
I just want to go back to bed.
Okay. And was he being difficult, or was he being a baby? I mean, he was fussing and with you while you were feeding him and trying to change him. I mean, he was probably tired himself. Do you think? So when you exited the bathroom, I mean, was it accidental?
I didn't mean to.
Okay. Was it out of frustration or something else?
Just because I was rushing, I just wasn't paying attention.
And has anybody, I mean, is this what happened, or has anybody kind of told you what to tell us?
The only person I talked to was these guys.
Okay. Because, I mean, here, like Kevin was saying, I mean, he used the word plausible. I mean, it is possible what you're saying happened, but keep in mind that, I mean, the fracture was such an extent that I don't know that really makes a ton of sense. Like, it would have to be a little bit harder, whether it was intentional or unintentional.
The sound wasn't loud, but the damage was devastating. An 11-centimeter skull fracture, far beyond what any simple household accident could justify.
We're just trying to understand better.
Is this what you told Pam? What you want Pam to understand, Shy, or is this really what happened? Because the edge, there was no marks on his head that was visible that would suggest the edge was made contact. This was more of a flat surface. The injury that he had was more significant than running into a door frame like that. Okay? I think that's possible. It may have contributed, but remember there was also a prior skull fracture as well. So not just, and that didn't come from more than likely falling on the floor. Okay? What we're getting at is that each time we come and visit to get your side of the story, Shy, we want the answers for you, we want the answers for Eli, but it's also taking us time. It's also taking us away from other interviews that we've been conducting as well.
And the other important thing too is that the fracture was on the right side of his head, not the left side.
They told me there's 2 fractures.
Right, but the significant one, the one that caused his death, was on the right side of his skull.
That's the side he fell on when he fell off the chair.
That's not the new fracture though. The old fracture, you know, that wouldn't be happening from the chair, from the couch, from the bed. The 11-centimeter fracture didn't happen from the couch or the chair. It didn't happen from going into the wall, such as how you described it. The 11-centimeter fracture is on a different side.
Can you show her how big 11 centimeters is, approximate?
Oh. Let's see. 11 centimeters is from here to here. So about the length is about 4.25 inches. Actually 4.5 inches. 11 centimeters from here to here was a crack.
So that's a big fracture.
And this isn't from the doorway. So we want answers, Shy, and you're able to provide those answers, but the explanation you just provided doesn't explain the significant injuries. That's the length of this pen.
On a small head.
On a small head. That's almost his whole side of his head.
It's from midline suture to the back suture. You know what the sutures are on a skull? So when babies are developing, their skulls aren't real hard. They have soft spots. And as they grow, they're called suture lines. They essentially go like this and the skull fuses, right? That's happening while they're in development and also as they're getting older. So there's suture lines. There's suture lines on your skull too, all over us. From mid suture to back suture, 4.5 inch on a small head. See the problem, the difficulty that we're having?
In this
You just wanted me anything that happened in the last 24 hours.
and that's one thing, yes.
I was willing to come in here and tell you guys that.
And we appreciate that, because that takes a lot of courage to do that. But it's not providing a complete explanation.
Medical findings revealed the injury was on the opposite side of her claim. That single detail unraveled her story.
Because the medical evidence is what it is. There's no getting around that.
If you need to visit, we're going to wait in the room, okay? Today is the day. We're going to find out the information, okay? And this is the time where we need to know the truth. Again, we are never here to judge you, and I know that's what you were afraid of, okay? I understand that, Shy. Okay, there was something more that happened. I know that. The doctors know that, and you know that, and I think the more people we talk to, I think Dylan probably knows.
Dylan, though, he didn't even know this.
Okay.
He just came looking for me for support.
Okay. But do you see what our concerns are, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get to the bottom of this today. Let's work together and figure this out.
Do not be afraid of what I think.
I'm not.
Tell them. Tell them what happened so you know. No, there's no.
I don't remember how.
No. Tell them.
I am. But with you doing this, it makes more.
Okay,
stress.
shut up.
take your time. We'll wait. We'll wait right here.
I was so tired. I don't remember how nice or I don't know what to say, but how I put him down in his crib.
Tell us about that.
It's like all a blur. I was just so tired. All I wanted to do was go back to bed.
We've been there. I understand. What happened?
I think I put him down a little rougher, but I don't remember because it's just all a blur.
I understand, Sean.
I just want to go back to bed. Can't be in any harm.
I understand that. Why don't you show me with using this doll shot how you remember laying him down and what he hit his head on for real?
I don't. I just think
Okay.
that lay him down there and he like hit the wall or something.
So the wall behind the bed, because as I recall, the crib is up against the wall, or the right.
Under pressure, Cheyenne began to waver. She admitted she might have laid Eli down a bit too firmly while overwhelmed with fatigue and frustration.
Shad, this is going to be a real tough question, but I just want you to answer, okay? Did you throw him into the crib?
Not that I remember, but I don't think I laid him down nice.
What do you think that maybe you did?
What?
What do you think that maybe you did?
I don't know if I'm gonna throw. I don't know what to call it.
Can you describe it or show us?
I know it wasn't throwing,
Okay.
but I don't know. It's just all blur.
Shai, did you go into his room to put him to bed, or did you toss him
I
from?
put him in his room.
Okay.
And I don't remember how I put him down.
The thing, Shai, is that the sooner you're able to be honest with yourself, we can all move forward. Okay, we can ask for forgiveness. I'm not here to judge you. That never has been the case. Okay? You seem to be a reasonable person that has gone through a very traumatic incident. You're a brand new mother. You're by yourself. You're trying to get on your feet, but it's very difficult. You're a brand new parent. We've all been there. But the door frame, what had happened, I know that's not what caused his death. Okay? It's time to be honest.
I just remember I didn't put him in his crib nice. But I didn't throw him, but I think there was a little bit of force.
And sometimes when we're frustrated, when we're tired, remember what we talked about in one of our previous conversations, Shai? About all of a sudden we reach the point where like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? Do you remember what we talked about that? You're not the first person who has been through this. But we need to know more because the bed is all soft and that's something different, something more happened.
That's all I remember. I was down nice in the crib.
When you went in the bedroom, were the lights on or off?
They were off, just his little nightlight was on.
And was he fussing?
Like after it happened or during?
Yeah, before, as you're walking into the bedroom. No. And when you say you put him in with some force, did he hit his head on the wall?
I think so.
Okay, which side of his head?
He lays on the, so like say this is his crib and it goes that way, he lays this way.
Okay, so if you use that, how would he be laying? So you went to put him in his bed on his face down or on his back? after that happened, what was Eli's reaction?
Oh, he was crying, but I didn't make anything of it.
What did you do?
I just repositioned him and went and laid down.
Repositioned him from what
So
to
he
what?
was closer to the wall. From where his blankets were laying.
Okay. So you moved him from the back of the crib towards the wall, towards more of the middle. Okay.
So what did he hit his head on the right side?
What do you mean?
What did the right side of his head make contact with that was hard?
Just the wall there, and the crib has like, I don't know what to say, but there are like little holes. It's just a very thin little like.
Mesh?
Yeah, yeah.
Doors? Okay.
How do you know his head hit the wall?
That's what I think. His little toy was there too, but he was really close to the wall. I was just so tired.
Cheyenne admitted placing Eli close to the wall, where she believed his head might have struck something hard. But in her exhaustion, she couldn't quite recall the moment clearly.
Let's use this right here, okay? The surface is the pack and play. Okay? Show me how you remember laying him down, and we need to be as accurate as possible.
I don't remember. That's the thing. I only remember just laying him in there. I think it was like half asleep or something. It's just all like a blur to me. I don't even remember. I felt like I was in a dream when I got up and fed him.
After you went to bed, and the alarm went off at 4:40, and Dylan got ready to work and left, did you check?
I just opened the door and looked in.
And what did you see?
He was in the same position I put him in.
Nothing had changed from 2?
That's what I noticed, though, because I just peeked my head in.
Tell me about, you mentioned yesterday you heard him snoring. Was that?
If that's what you want to call it, there's like noise, like gurgling or snoring. I don't know if you'd call baby snoring. I don't know.
But he was making a sound as he was trying to breathe or breathing.
Cheyenne's confession hits like a punch to the chest. Hearing her admit she used force, even unintentionally, is devastating. I keep thinking about Eli's tiny body, his cries ignored in her fog of exhaustion. As a viewer, you want to scream, how could you? But as a human, you see her breaking. Under guilt, this isn't just a crime. It's a warning about how desperation can lead to irreversible mistakes.
Who else did you tell this to, Shay?
No, just her today.
You didn't tell me the part about the crumbles.
No, I'm just scared. I feel like you're a really bad person.
You get a lot of people that are here to support you. That doesn't change. Okay? You were frustrated, you were tired. From 2 to 2:30, you were up with him. Maybe 2 hours later, 2 hours, 15 minutes, you're up again. Making coffee for Dylan.
In the early morning, she peeked into the room. Eli hadn't moved, but a strange, strained breathing sound coming from him hinted that something was terribly wrong.
And you've said already 3 to 4 hours, he's normally up getting fed again. So I understand you're one tired woman because within a 6-hour time period, you maybe got an hour of sleep, maybe, if that. fairly close? Or is something different?
I went to bed like 10:30.
So the other thing is the ribs. How did he hurt his ribs?
I don't know. Dylan was with him a couple times, and he did get frustrated with him a couple times, but he swears that he never did anything.
How do you know that he got frustrated? Were you there when that happened, or did he tell you that?
He won't be there.
Tell us what he said.
He just said that when he got up with Eli, he was just really, like, crying, wouldn't take the bottle, like, wouldn't go back to him, like when he laid him back down.
How long ago was this?
When I was at her house, I would go to my parents on the weekends.
So how old would Eli have been?
I was doing 2-3 weeks, probably around 2.
So what did Dylan tell you happened with Eli?
He didn't say much. He just said it was a hard night.
Is the incident that you told us about Eli striking his head on the door frame, is that true?
Yeah, but I don't think it was hard enough to do anything.
Was that the same night? Or a different night?
Same night.
So his head hit something hard twice after that 2 a.m. feeding. You're nodding your head, yes. Okay. Was there another time?
In a moment of sheer panic, Jakar only remembers the glint of a knife in dim light. Instinct took over. He grabbed the blade with his bare hand, and blood began soaking through his palm.
Take your time.
Is it okay if we meet them? I feel like I'm going to pass out.
Do you want to do you have another shirt on underneath? Do you want to be done? Or is that what
Just
you
with
said?
all the crying and stuff, and it's hard to breathe.
Can we get you some water?
So we got a little bit longer, Kate. Do you need a different shirt?
No, I'm not hot.
I just want to be done, is what you said.
I just can't breathe.
Alright, well, here's what I want you to do for Shy. Okay? You're having probably a lot of anxiety right now. Okay? You're right. Sit straight up like what you're doing. Breathe in through your nose, slowly. Breathe out through your mouth. There you go. We're just here to talk. Just relax. This takes a lot of courage. Shy, you're doing a great job. Appreciate it. Okay, so you breathe in through your nose. There you go. Out through your mouth. You got a great support person right on your left side that's stuck with you through this whole thing. And you got 2 guys in here that not only care for Eli, but we also care about you too.
Between tears and breathless anxiety, she tried to reenact what happened. What seemed like innocent drowsiness now unraveled into a series of actions that ended a child's life.
That's all I can recall from that night.
What about from any other nights?
Just the fall off the chair and the incident at her house.
So, falling asleep, feeding him, and he fell off the bed, that happened at Pam's. And then the couch, where he rolled out of his chair onto the couch, or off the couch onto the floor. Did I have those right? Okay. And then Wednesday morning after feeding, he hit his head on the door frame, and then when you went to put him to bed, he hit his head on the wall. And is it correct when I say that putting him in the bed was, in a way that was a little too forceful?
I think we're probably, is this, have we left anything out shy at all? Because here's the thing is that each time we come back, we're reliving a very painful memories for you, okay? And it's not fair to you, it's not fair to Eli, okay? That's the two people right now I'm focused with. We'll talk with Dylan later on, but my two main people I care about is you and Eli. Okay, are we forgetting anything?
I can remember.
Is there anything that you're not telling us that we should know?
Not that I can recall, no.
Can I say something? Sorry. There's still some unexplained things you have to share. If there was another time.
There was no other time in my hand.
Confusing, or you got frustrated and it takes time.
No, not that I remember, no.
You just don't want to have to go through this again.
I understand that.
You don't want you to go through it again. Okay?
The rib fractures, Shy, whether it occurred in your presence or not. Putting him down on the, I'd have to ask the doctor, but the way you're describing it, those happened before you forcefully laid him down Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning.
But the damage wasn't limited to the skull. Doctors had discovered fractured ribs too. Once again, Cheyenne's silence offered no answers, only deeper, darker uncertainty.
Help me understand how the rib fractures happened.
I don't know.
The mention of Dylan and those rib fractures add such a haunting layer. Cheyenne's doubt about him lingers in her silence. It's chilling. Was she protecting him or herself? The investigators' focus on Dylan makes you question if Eli's injuries were a pattern, not a single night's tragedy. It's a stark reminder: abuse can hide in plain sight behind closed doors, where no one's watching.
A reenactment began once more. Cheyenne used a doll to demonstrate how she held Eli walking out of the bathroom. This time, her movements contradicted her original account.
A chair right here for me. And then Jen, pull up this chair and close the door for us. All right. This was the interview that we did at the other building on April 12th, okay? April 12th, at about 4:19 in the afternoon is what the timestamp is right here. And at about this time in the interview, about 12 minutes and 40 seconds into it, we start talking about what happened. When I talk with kids, just real quick, what's your name? But I use dolls to help me work with kids. Okay? So let's just kind of visualize what you're saying. So as you can see, this child has clothes that he can remove or keep on. Okay, with the doll behind you, Shy, I want you to show me how you remember holding Eli when you were in the bathroom with him. You told us that you had to get a Band-Aid on your finger. Is that really what happened?
Yeah.
Okay, take that doll behind you, grab onto it, and hold it like you remember holding onto Eli.
When I was walking out?
Yeah, or when you were in the bathroom and walking out.
Just hold him like this.
Okay, you're holding him like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's different than what you demonstrated here on the video.
Yeah, it's been over almost a year. I don't remember.
I'll show you how you held him, how you demonstrated. But this will give me a better understanding as far as how you were. Okay, so what I want you to show us is that how were you holding on to Dylan? Eli, I'm sorry, Eli, thank you. How were you holding on to Eli when you were walking around your apartment? Can you see this okay? Facing outward like that? Okay. And as you go into the bathroom, you're like demonstrate how you're doing working bandit.
I didn't put the bandit on. I just grabbed it from the top, whatever you want to call it, off the thing.
Okay. The medicine cabinet?
Yep.
Okay.
And then I grabbed it, took it off, put it on the kitchen table, counter, and then I put Eli to bed.
Okay, so slow down a second. So get the bandage and then walk out of the bedroom. Okay, from there, what you just showed me, Shy, is different than what you demonstrated here. Granted, this is only 6 days after Eli died, okay? Has there been anything that has changed that made you remember that you held him differently, or did someone talk to you, or? Okay. So the next part, at about 14 minutes into this, you start talking about walking out of the bathroom.
So, can you hold that doll? When you walk out, which part of it?
So again, you're holding him different than what you just showed us.
Okay.
Like I said, it looked like I was in a rush. So I put it back and lay down.
So does the door to the bathroom, does it open inwards or outwards? Like inwards into the bathroom?
And we confirmed this after this visit with the pictures that we've got.
Cameras were placed to capture the recreation, but Cheyenne's gestures and earlier claims no longer aligned, revealing how time had blurred or perhaps distorted the truth.
And then up to 17 minutes.
Does the door open towards inside the bathroom?
All right. So there's where we're at. What we're going to do, Shy, is because the camera angles in here and so we can get a better idea for the attorney's office, I'm going to stand outside the doorway and I'm going to video you coming out of the bathroom. Or out of this room. Granted, the door opens inward versus outward, but I want to get a better understanding how you're holding him and then what part of Eli's head hit the door frame, okay? And Jenna's gonna stay in here with you, and then once I say you'll hear me outside the doorway, we might do it a few times. I want you to just show us how, right here you're holding him again, you're holding him like this. That's different than what this is. There's a big difference there. So I want you to do it both ways, how you demonstrated it here and how you told us, and then how it happened like this if he's walking out. Okay, I'm gonna stand outside the doorway here. And this is again to help get us a better understanding so we can show our attorneys, okay? Okay, whenever you're ready, Shy.
Just walk on. Yep, home, maybe like. And like that, like.
Yeah, show me the speed that you came out and then how he hit. Okay, so go back again where you were sitting at Shy. Okay, so you've got, you just picked up the bandage, like you told us, you're by the sink or medicine cabinet. Now, show me what happened next at the same speed that you remember coming out of the bathroom.
The same way I did.
What's that?
The same thing I just did.
Same thing you just did. As best as you remember what it is. Okay.
Painful.
What's that?
Flimsy.
Okay, now show me how you just demonstrated now the other way that you think you might have been carrying him. So sit down or pretend, or let's say that the table is your medicine cabinet and vanity area, and that you're holding him differently. You're holding him now how you initially demonstrated to us and showed us. Now, just a little bit ago, you showed us differently, so show us how that would go, okay?
Inside the simulation room, Cheyenne reenacted walking out of the bathroom with Eli in her arms. Each move was recorded, but her hesitation hinted at fractured or altered memories.
Okay, was that about the right speed? Because you slowed down right when you got to the door.
I don't know, kinda.
Okay.
I don't know.
'Cause-
My memory is not the best anymore.
Okay.
With everything I got going on.
Because the fractures that would happen wouldn't happen just from that speed right there. The next question that we had, go ahead and close it. Thank you for helping me understand that, Shy. It gives me a better idea. The next spot that we had was at 52 minutes. When you're demonstrating putting Eli back into the pack and play. And I think it's fair to say, and based on what you talked to me about and the medical evidence, the size of the fractures, and then just the duration, the significance, how you initially demonstrated was probably underplayed or minimized from what actually happened. But I just want to get a better understanding as far as how hard Eli was put down. You said, I think your words were, you put him down kind of aggressive, or you put him down not so nice, was the words that you used.
I just needed to get that little beating off my chest. That's why I came in.
That guilt was weighing on you.
You're a terrible person.
You're not.
I know, I just feel like it.
Part of it was that you are doing the right thing. That's the everything that's good right now. One thing earlier, Shy, and I know it's difficult, but to help us understand. I asked you earlier about the pack and play and the use of the doll, so I can have a better understanding, so I can make correct documentation of that. I want you to show me how you held Eli and then how you put him down that night when you put him down forcefully, like you mentioned.
I don't remember all of it though.
As best as you know.
Asked to demonstrate how she placed Eli into the crib, Cheyenne used a doll. Yet her actions didn't match previous descriptions, casting deeper doubts on the accuracy of her account.
Okay, so show me how you remember putting him down. Maybe stand up. Because if you were standing, go ahead and stand.
I don't remember everything though. I was really like just gonna come so here. And I'm like halfway, I think I went
Like what?
like that.
Red didn't see that. Show us how.
I was like halfway down, I think I went like that.
When he went like that to hit the wall, did you let go of him and then he hit the wall and then fell down? You're shaking your head. Okay, some of the questions that we had in this Shy is this camera angle right here covered up when it would flop some of the dynamics of what happened right in here. Okay, what that means is that I want you to demonstrate as accurately as you remember. And I know my question was, did you let go? You said you did, basically, or did you take the doll, or take Eli rather, and basically push him up against the wall? But that helps me to get an understanding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand over in this corner, and I know this is as best ways it can do with the video camera angles that we've got. You came in through the doorway. If this would be a clear and accurate representation of Eli's room, you'd come through the door and his pack and play would be over on this wall, okay? So why don't we, actually, let's move this table. I'm gonna use my phone again, and I'm gonna record from a couple different angles as far as how that happened, okay? So I'm going to move the pack and play on this wall right here, probably right over in here. I'm going to record that. We'll do it first on this wall. We'll do it first next on this wall. And something happened between, well, if you think Sunday night was the night that he hit his head, so that was a separate day or separate incident altogether. And I think I remember asking you, did you seek any medical attention after he hit his head that night in the door frame for him? Okay, you're shaking your head no again. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you worried that he maybe had hurt himself when he hit his head on the door frame?
I guess it really didn't, like, come to mind, I guess.
Okay, all right. So why don't we do that? I want you to, and you're not gonna hurt anything in this room, okay? I know that it wasn't, Shy, here's the thing, you've demonstrated already, you've admitted to us how this happened. Now is the time where we need to show our attorney's office specifically how this happened. I know it wasn't that light that he was put down. The medical evidence shows us that. I'm not going to show you the autopsy photos because remember I told you the fracture is 11 centimeters, and on Eli's head, that's his entire right side of his head.
The pressure grew heavier as investigators revealed autopsy findings. An 11-centimeter skull fracture that spanned nearly the entire right side of Eli's head, far too severe for a gentle mishap.
Okay, so why don't you grab that doll again? Were you coming into his bedroom to put him down then? Is that, because I think that's kind of what I'm thinking is what happened. And then I think you just were so exhausted, you were at your wit's end. Dylan isn't helping a whole lot and he had already just come back from being in jail. So you had a lot on your plate for the last over a week. And you've got a baby that's being a baby and fussy and not sleeping very well and hungry. And here's Dylan laying there, not helping you. Is that fairly accurate, Shy? Here's the thing, Shy, we've been there. Jen and I, we're parents ourselves. And I tell you what, there's several nights where I was in your shoes and it was so stressful and it was hard. You wanted to sleep. You'd do anything for 10 minutes of sleep. And we've been there. So again, I'm not here to judge you, Shy. I've told you that from the very beginning. And once this is all done, that's still in it for me to judge you, okay, Shy? All right. Obviously, I can see that this has really affected you. You've got some new tattoos with Eli's name on it. It's obvious to me that Eli meant everything, but you were in a position where you got a lack of sleep and doing this all by yourself. And it's tough. Being a parent is full time. And with Dylan not helping out and doing the things that he's been doing, it's obvious, now, I don't know how he's been acting now since our last visit with him, but this was kind of all on your shoulders that you had to raise Eli, and it wasn't fair to you. Okay, so I want you to grab that doll for me, Di, and I'm going to record from this angle over here, and then show me how you came to. Jen's going to help you with the door. I want you to show me coming through the door and how you did. And I know it wasn't the nice, kind, gentle like what you showed us. So I want you to show us as best as you can, Shy, of what happened. Okay, go ahead and start.
Probably more like that.
Okay, you just put him on his back, but he was actually, that's different than
Yeah.
That's different than how you
Yeah.
before.
Cancel that.
Okay, we'll cancel that one. Okay, one last time.
Again.
Do that again, just like what you did. One last time.
Eventually, Cheyenne admitted Eli had struck the wall hard before falling into the crib.
Cheyenne's courtroom words, "I never intended to hurt my son," echo with raw pain. 12 years feel heavy, but can it ever balance Eli's loss? This case isn't just about punishment. It's about a system failing a young mom and her child. Leaves you wondering, how many other families are teetering on the edge, unseen, until it's too late?
Finally, Cheyenne stood before the court with a quiet, painful confession. "I never intended to hurt my son. I will never forgive myself, nor do I expect anyone else to."
Okay, so we'll stop that. And looks like your sister's out here, Amanda, to give you a ride probably, or to go with you to your interview. So
Yeah.
I'll call you later on when we can, if we need to meet up or whatever, and we'll go from there. So, okay?
Thank you.
Doing okay?
Yeah, I just have a lot of different stress-related issues in life right now.
Are you seeking out any help or talking to anybody? Or?
Yeah, I've been talking to my old social worker a lot. She's been helping me out, so.
Good, okay. Keep in contact with your social worker or, anybody else. And, once this is, figured out, or if you want, I'm not a therapist or counselor, but Jen and I are parents and, we understand. So, okay. All right. Hang in there, Shy, okay?
Trying.
All right.
Some days are worse than others.
Can I give you a hug? All right.
Thank you.
All right. Hang in there.
Thank you, Shai. Yeah. You guys are just
At
doing
her
your job.
sentencing,
Yeah, I know.
Cheyenne was allowed to offer any statements on the case.
After multiple interrogations, scene reenactments, and fragmented confessions, Cheyenne Henches was sentenced to 12.5 years in prison and 4 years of probation. She faced the charge of first-degree manslaughter of a minor, a heartbreaking crime born out of exhaustion, lack of parental guidance, and irreversible mistakes. The case of Eli Gage is more than a tragedy. It raises the question, how many hidden disasters are quietly unfolding behind the closed doors of everyday homes? Share your thoughts in the comments and hit that subscribe button to follow more shocking true crime stories and unlock exclusive perks from our channel in the near future.